Hey everyone, welcome to my library. My name is Melissa and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. I took a hiatus off of vlogging for a little bit because I was solely reading The Count of Monte Cristo and I was so sick of having that be the only thing I was reading on my channel. So I decided I would finish that before I started a new one. So yes, I finished this last night at 11 p.m. Yay! And I can totally see why it is a masterpiece and why people love this book. But to be quite honest, you guys, the ending shook me to my core in a bad way. And so I ended up giving it a 4 stars because of the ending. I literally could go on and on about a specific element for why this ended so badly. I won't go into it, but maybe I will for my wrap up. I'll get into a spoilery review of the ending because I'm still not over it. And I've actually ranted to a couple of my friends on Instagram about it who are curious. So yeah, if you really want to know why, message me there and I'll go into it. But yes, it was such a good story and I was so connected to the characters and the plot really moved towards the end, which was nice because it was kind of a slog in the middle. But yeah, there's just an element at the end that brought it down a star for me. So I ended up giving this a 4 stars. But yes, I also finished the Jane Austen Society over the weekend as well on audio. That was great. It was so good. If you are a Jane Austen lover, you need to read this book. It is just a love letter to Jane Austen. It is the coziest book I've ever read. It's about 6 individuals who all end up in Chawton. I don't exactly know how to say the name of the town that Jane Austen lived in, but it's in Hampshire, and they all end up there. Either they live there, they're residents there, or one of them's an actress, a very famous Hollywood actress, and this happens post World War II, just barely post World War II. So all of them are getting over the effects of the war. They've all felt it in some sort of way. And they're dedicated to preserving Jane Austen's life and works. And so that's the whole point of this society. And it's just their lives. And the reason I loved it, though, was that there's a romance in this book that I wanted to happen, and it happened. And it's between this older doctor and this kind of younger woman who's a widow, and I don't know how really big the age gap is, maybe 15 years, honestly, nothing big, but anyways, he was just so caring to her, and you could tell that he truly loved her, and she was kind of in denial of if it was love or if it was just him being a good neighbor, a good doctor, a good person. And so anyways, yeah, when that progressed into a romance, I was just so excited. So yeah, I loved it. I gave it a 4.5 stars. You have to read it if you love Jane Austen, though. It was one of those great books about books. So yeah, loved it. And then as far as what I'm reading this week, let's update on that. So I am going to be starting from Sand and Ash today. I am so excited. A ton of people have joined on the Buddy Reads Discord group for this, including Krista from Books and Jams, who is one of my favorite YouTubers. So I'm so excited she's on there and chatting. But yeah, everyone seems to be enjoying this so far. I'm going to be going through the chat as I read. I've obviously not wanted to look at it beforehand. So yeah, I'm going to be starting this and hopefully loving it. Everyone seems to be, so I have super high hopes. And I hear the love story in this is really good. So yes, fingers crossed for this. The book that I started this morning, and I'll tell you the funny story with this one. So I started this on audio on Libby. It's A Knight in Shining Armor by Jude Devereaux. So yeah, I started this on audio, and as I was getting ready, and I was really confused at first because it showed that it was only 3 hours long. And I've never had an audiobook be 3 hours long before, especially like a normal, you know, paperback, mass market paperback romance. They're usually like maybe 10 hours. And so I was very confused. Started it anyways, because I was like, maybe it's just the first part of the book or something. Started it, and it was the weirdest paced book I've ever listened to. It just jumped, like every sentence was jumping to a new scene. And so I was very, very confused, and I decided I would grab my physical book and try to match the physical with the audio to see like how far in I was after only listening for 40 minutes. And I was 120 pages in to the book. Like, there's no way. So I ended up figuring out that it was the abridged version, which who wants to read the abridged version of an already, like, you know, it's not a big book. I don't understand why they even offer that to people. So yeah, I ended up obviously checking that back in and then finding the real audio version on Audible. And I also learned that that version is a little different than this first edition. So yeah, this is the first edition of the book. And the one I'm listening to on Audible, I tried to follow it word for word to make sure. And the prologue in the normal book is 1 page long. And then on Audible, it was actually like longer. It was much longer than this like 6 paragraphs that are in the book, which was very surprising. And I actually don't mind that, obviously. So I think they extended some of it from what Shay told me. I'm buddy reading this with Shay at Shay Geeks Out. And so she told me she has a version that's extended and has more content to it. So I think that's the one that I'm listening to. But anyways, long story short, yes, I actually am really enjoying this. We are both so enjoying this. It is basically like, think the movie Kate and Leopold, if you've seen that, or Enchanted, where a knight from the medieval times time travels forward. And yeah, that's the whole story. So, oh boy. My husband just got home for lunch, so I better go. But yeah, that's the update for now. Everyone meet Nellie. She's our dog's cousin. So she's my brother-in-law's dog. And she's so sweet, but she's older, so she can't really take these dogs that much. She's peacing out. Oh, she's sweet though, but yeah, that's Nellie. And here's Butter. Huh. Good evening. I am attempting to make a HelloFresh meal. Wish me luck. It's Frank's Red Hot Firehouse cheeseburgers. So I'm cutting up the fries, which are just oven roasted potatoes. But I thought I would update on my reading while I'm doing this. So I have been listening to a ton of Knight in Shining Armor, which I even brought the books in here to talk about. Look at me being prepared. But yeah, so I'm reading this one, or listening to it, I should say, and it is so good. Me and Shay are just going back and forth about how good this book is so far. It's just utterly charming. It follows the story of this woman whose name is Douglas, and she gets basically deserted by her boyfriend and her boyfriend's daughter. That they went to England for this trip that she thought was just going to be for her and her boyfriend, and he ends up surprising her with this surprise of, hey, we're going to take my daughter with us too. Anyways, long story short, they end up leaving her deserted without a purse or anything, at this like church, and so she's crying, and she's like, oh, I just wish a knight in shining armor would help me, like kind of as a joke. And then all of a sudden this knight shows up, and he's like, well, witch, you've conjured me here. What do you want from me? So he's under this complete impression that she's a witch. And she's like, no, I'm not a witch. You're just delusional. And so he's totally believing, like, he believes in magic and he believes in witches and stuff. And so he thinks like that she's this witch that has conjured him up from the past to help her, and that he's stuck in the future. So he believes it. He's going along with it, but she doesn't, obviously. Anyways, it is so charming, like their interaction together, and then him discovering all these new things about obviously modern technology. However, this was written in the 80s, so it's kind of funny to even think about how far we've come since then. But yeah, like he's taken, she kind of decides that he realizes that, well, one second. Anyways, he's just calling her witch a lot. I just think that's hilarious. I just love that. But he also just has the most tender heart and just wants to help her. And obviously she's trying to figure out what's his story. And it is just an adorable story. Like, I highly recommend it so far. It's giving me 5-star feels. So there's that book. I also started last night From Sand and Ash. And looks like the oven is ready. Yeah, so I started that last night, and I'm only a chapter in, and oh my goodness, I love it. It is following 2 childhood friends, Eva and Angelo. And Angelo is Catholic, and Eva is Jewish, but because they're kids, they don't really get it. Like, they're like, do you believe in God? And he's like, yep. And she's like, I do too. And he's like, well, do you believe in Jesus? And she's like, as a God? And he goes, yes. And she goes, no, but does that mean we can't be friends? And oh, it's just, the conversations they have are so cool. I don't know. And you can tell the romance is budding, and I'm excited for it. A World War II historical fiction book that has like a forbidden romance element is just giving me life. The plan for the rest of the evening for me is to just finish dinner, obviously. I'll hopefully vlog if it looks good. We'll see. And then to read, and just, oh my gosh, I'm just so happy with the reading I'm doing right now. And I had a really kind of rough week last week, and so to have this week of just glorious books is everything I needed. So the fries are still cooking because of course they are. But then here's the final product of the burger. I know it looks like a mess, but yeah, I'm actually excited to eat this. So it's, what is it, Thursday? No, Wednesday afternoon. It's mid-afternoon, and I am going to be taking a nice long hour break from work. I just need a mental break, and I know I'm gonna be working late tonight, so I just want to enjoy the sunshine while I still have it. So my plan is to read more of From Sand and Ash, and you guys, this book is so beautiful. Like, I am only, let's see, how many pages in? 78 pages in, and I already know, like, this has me in giddy 5-star feels. I just love it. Like, I love it. So it's following the story of, I think I already said this, but 2 childhood friends who are destined to not be lovers in the future, obviously, because he's a priest, he's Catholic, she's Jewish, it's World War II. And so what's happening right now is there's all these sanctions going on in Italy for restrictions on the Jews. And so the girl, Eva, she is a musician and she plays the violin. And her uncle is a teacher to her, and he says this, and it was so beautiful what he said to her about music. So I wanted to read it. He said to her, they cannot take our talents. They cannot take our knowledge or our memories or our minds. In music, there is no bondage. Music is a door, and the soul escapes through the melody, even if it's only for a few minutes. And everyone who listens is freed. Everyone who listens is elevated. Yes. Oh man, that's so pretty, and it's so true. Music is a way to just express yourself, and I don't know if I've shared this on a vlog yet, but I play the piano. I love playing the piano. I've played since I was 8, and so I love jamming. That's another way I relieve stress too, is reading and playing the piano. Maybe I'll insert a clip of me playing the piano later in this vlog, if I think about it. But yeah, it is definitely a way of expression when nothing else feels adequate, I guess. And then on the next page, literally the next page after that beautiful writing, there's this, and I wanted to read this too. So she writes in her journal. She writes confessions in her journal. And she says, confession, I am 19 years old and I've been kissed many times, but I've never been kissed like that. It felt like drowning but not needing to breathe, like falling but never hitting the ground. Even now, my hands are shaking and my heart is so swollen and fat, it feels like it's going to burst or I'm going to burst. I love that feeling of something so emotional, and so good, I guess. I don't know. I just love Amy Harmon's writing. I just think it's so beautiful and so poignant and just glorious. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading this today, this afternoon, and I'll show the cute dogs because they're right behind me and I just think they're adorable. So there's Nellie, and then there's Butter, who's going to town on something, and then Lily is right there with my heater. But yeah, okay, back to reading. Nothing's better after a long day at work than some hot tea, a book, a fireplace going, and a nice ambiance video with my cute 3 dogs this time. Cuddled up next to me. Yeah, you just want more love, huh?
Lost in my eyelids, I call you with silence, but
Good morning. It's Saturday morning and I am headed to Books on 7th Avenue. I am so excited. I finally bit the bullet and ordered a mystery box from them for local pickup. And so I'm headed with some books to sell back to them. And then I asked them if they could split my box into 2 separate genres, and they were more than willing to accommodate, which is awesome. So I'm getting 20 books, 10 historical romances and 10 historical fiction. And then they asked me if I had any specific tastes, and I listed them out for them, and oh my gosh, I am just so excited to see what they come up with. I'm also just going to be perusing while they obviously count my books and figure out how much store credit I get. So I'm sure I'll buy more than just my box. But yeah, I have so much to update you guys on as far as reading goes. So I will do that later when I have my books in front of me and I can just talk about them. But yeah, today and this week specifically have just been beautiful, glorious reading days for me. It's just been a great week. So I'm sure you guys can tell how happy I am, but yeah, this week has just been really great. So I'm excited to wrap it up and kind of share with you guys my thoughts and everything going on, but just thought I'd check in. So it is actually Monday morning. Oh, I'm so sorry that I didn't actually update on Saturday. The day got away from me, but I thought I would update and just let you guys know how my reading went this week, and close out the vlog so I can start another one. So I finished From Sand and Ash on Sunday, and this is beautiful. A masterpiece. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. Like, I could gush and gush about this book. The writing was so beautiful. That's what I can't get over with reading Amy Harmon, is the fact that her writing is just so poetic, but so simple. It's not, it's not hard to read, but it just packs such a punch. So this ends up being a huge book, there's a huge theme of religion and beliefs and what or who God is in this book, and it was utterly fascinating to me. Obviously these 2 star-crossed lovers are not of the same religion. So she's Jewish and he's Catholic, and he's a priest, right? So he's a very stout Catholic. And what happens during this time that I also didn't know about is that the Roman Catholics ended up hiding a bunch of Jews in their churches and facilitating them escaping out of Rome. And so it was very cool to read about, because he ends up being part of that cause and helping hide her. They have a lot of talk about what it means to love God, and at the very end of this book it talks about how God doesn't care, like he loves all of his children. And anyways, I could also share some beautiful quotes in here that I won't for now, because I've shared a lot of them on Instagram and on the Discord group that were truly beautiful. Literally just like taking my breath away, the writing in here. But yeah, if there was ever a book that was written for me, I feel like this is it. Like, it has everything I love in books. It has a great romance, and it was actually decently steamy. Like, it was good. and it at the center of it are two people who are very complex and good people. And it has a priest in it, which is just a random huge highlight for me. And it also is historical fiction, and it just has themes of religion, morality, and heroism, and I don't know. It was just a beautiful book. So really hard to read at some parts. Trigger warnings for a lot of things, especially having to do with the Holocaust. So yes, major trigger warnings for that. If that is something you're sensitive to, I would take some caution before reading this. But anyways, yeah, I'll stop gushing, but you guys, this is my new favorite book of this year. I mean, I've only had 2 5-star reads this year, Morning Glory by Devereaux Spencer, and then this one. But yeah, this one takes the cake so far. So yeah, loved this one. Okay, the next book I am in the middle of still. I am buddy reading with Shay at Shay Geeks Out. She's so far ahead compared to me. We were supposed to finish it this week, or like I think on Sunday actually. She's finishing it today, and I am only halfway through. I'm listening to it on audio, and I have just not found enough time to be able to listen. I tried listening at work and literally spaced out for 2 hours, started listening, and then I was like, wait, what's going on? I have no idea. And I had to rewind. So I know that this book takes a little bit more brain power for me for some reason than normal. So, but it is so fun. This is the most, like, this is the perfect romp of like a romance about this knight that comes forward in time, and he speaks in medieval English still, and he's learning all about what the world is like now. And of course she just thinks he's crazy and that, you know, he's just off his rocker. And it is just so fun. Right now they're on this like quest essentially to figure out why he was sent into the future, and also to figure out he was labeled a traitor back in the 1400s. Like when he was unexpectedly propelled into the future, he was actually in prison waiting to be executed for being labeled a traitor, and someone betrayed him. And so they're trying to figure out in the history books who betrayed him, because maybe that will lead him back home. He thinks that's the reason he's forward, is that he needs to figure out who betrayed him so that he can go back. But obviously he's also met Douglas, the main girl, and it's their love story. So sorry the dogs are getting rowdy, but yes, they always decide they want to play right when I turn on the camera. So yeah, here's the 2 books I've been reading or read this week. I decided to pick up another book last night, which I will not, I mean, if you've seen my TBR video, you know what it is, but I won't spoil you, and you guys will have to watch my next vlog to know which book I started. Look at me being sneaky. Okay, I also wanted to show you guys I actually just filmed my mystery box unboxing from Books on 7th Avenue that I did. It was a custom mystery box, half historical fiction, half historical romance of 20 books, so 10 and 10. And you guys, what a fun video. I was so impressed. They went the extra mile. Like, I'm just in awe of how well they pegged me down with my taste. After I called them because they're a local bookstore, right? So I called them and asked if I could just order one and pick it up. So anyways, okay, that's for that other video. I won't do the story time for that here. But I also ended up picking up this book. Let me grab it. So I ended up picking up this book, and I have to end on this note. Look at it. Pride and Prejudice, the movie tie-in edition for the 1995 movie featuring the one and only Colin Firth. I died when I saw this. I found this at the thrift store and I freaked out and knew I had to buy it. So yeah, I'm adding this to my Pride and Prejudice editions collection. Yeah, I love movie tie-in editions of movies I've loved, obviously. And this one is just absolutely perfect. So yeah, I'll end on this book here, but yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. It was fun to finally finish a book, like start and finish a book in one vlog. I know that hasn't been the case necessarily in any of my vlogs because I take forever to read. But yeah, from Sand and Ash was just so perfect. So yeah. With all that being said, please like and comment. I reply to every single comment. And please subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye!